the betterment of a college and the students. Welcome you, Father. I would now like to welcome our beloved principal, Professor Dr. Mohan Rao Bulla, to this program, who has played a pivotal role in the planning as well as execution of this program. We welcome you, sir. Hearty welcome to all my faculty colleagues, without whose support and guidance this program wouldn't be successful. Welcome, faculty members. Last but not the least, a bouquet of welcome to all our dear participants who have shown a very keen interest in participating in this FDP. Welcome, participants. Now, I would like to request Reverend Dr. Augustine George, Vice Principal, Kristu Jayanti College, to share his thoughts.
Honorable Justice P.S. Narayana, respected Father Emmanuel, the Director of Kristu Jayanti College of Law, Dr. Mohan Rao Bulla, the Principal, Kristu Jayanti College of Law, most distinguished faculty members and participants. I'm extremely happy to know that the Kristu Jayanti College of Law has organized an FTP, a 7-day program, for the benefit of the teaching community to take the classes in the law college, and for the practitioners, the law practitioners. Kristu Jayanti College, I think we started in Bengaluru by the CMI fathers. We started with the 9 students in 1999. Within the 21 years, there are 3 entities here in the campus, with the Kristu Jayanti College Autonomous, Kristu Jayanti School of Management, and the last one, Kristu Jayanti College of Law. Kristu Jayanti College of Law started 4 years back. Just like we had a humble beginning for the Kristu Jayanti College, the 9 students we started, now the campus strength is 7,000 plus. Even the Kristu Jayanti School of Law, I think we started with a humble beginning, but within 4 years, I think that we could achieve a lot, in the sense that we have the cream of students coming from all over country. We had the very talented and dedicated faculty members. They could organize, that many programs under the able leadership of the principal, Mr. Mohan Rao Bulla. And he could organize many programs in the campus itself by, that introducing the many of the luminaries to our students and to the people, the outside. And that we are in the process of growing. And there is a right direction and guidance by Father Emmanuel, the Director of Kristu Jayanti College of Law. I'm very much happy to see this FTP is happening in the way that we have a very, very eminent and people are there, the part of this program. The people could listen to many of these people. The people could interact with many of these the visionaries. Today we have the Honorable Justice P.S. Narayana. Going through his, the biography and the resume, what I could find, that more than 50 books he has come out with. That shows the command that he has in the, these areas. And moreover, he has put a deep, that experience in all this field as well. It's really an honor for us that he is a part of the last day of the FTP, to enrich all of us. The Kristu Jayanti College highly commend your availability, and we join with all the participants and all the members of Kristu Jayanti family to thank you for your readiness, your availability. You are distinguished, you are relevant, you are unique, and more than that, you are innovative in your life, and that is going to be an asset to the society and asset to all of us. So, dear Honorable Justice P.S. Narayana, please accept, that the greetings from Kristu Jayanti family, and I thank you for being, with us today for this wonderful session. I welcome all the participants once again to this program, and I am sure this day, as we come to the end of this 7-day program, this program has something for all of you. Each one has got something to take away. So thank you, participants, for being with us in all the previous days. And I wish all of you all the best. Once again, expressing our gratitude to Honorable Justice P.S. Narayana, and wishing you all the best. I remain. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Father, for sharing your thoughts. Now, I request Professor Dr. Mohan Rao Bulla, Principal, Kristu Jayanti College of Law, to give a small prelude to the session.
Most respected Honorable Justice P. Narayana Garu, Reverend Dr. Augustine George, Reverend Father Emmanuel PJ, our Director, distinguished guests who have been participating in this August session, my dear faculty colleagues and colleagues from different walks of the legal fraternity, the faculty members and advocates and friends and well-wishers. This is an August day indeed. Legal literature, as it plays a vital role in imparting the legal education, and in a touching way, if one can write and impressive phenomena, we can have a manifestation of such talent in the erudite scholarship of Justice Narayana Garu, and he is a walking encyclopedia. Father was also rightly pointing out that more than 50 books sir could author. When I search into, I got so wondered, and it's an amazing exercise that sir has been writing so authoritative works sir has produced so far, and we are going to hear from sir about such techniques and as to how to contribute for the legal literature and development of the society in turn. And we are indeed very, very honored and blessed to have Honorable Justice Dr. P.S. Narayana Garu today, and we look forward for a wonderful session on this in this Nyayacharya Deepika, specially designed program for the faculty development among the legal fraternity. With this welcome note, I once again thank each one of the participants, and thank you very much for participating. And once again, I welcome you all.
Thank you, sir. I would now like to introduce today's guest to the gathering. Honorable Shri Justice Pemmasani Shankara Narayana, popularly known as P.S. Narayana, was born on 13th July 1948 at a small village near Tirupati, which is a holy town in Chittoor district of Andhra Pradesh. He obtained his BL degree from SV University College, Tirupati, and enrolled as an advocate on 10th October 1973 on the rolls of Bar Council of Madras. He had the privilege of working as a junior advocate in the chambers of Sri Balamuri Radhakrishnaya and Sri Madhabushi Krishnaswamy, who were the two leading advocates of Tirupati Bar for some time, and then began his independent practice at Tirupati and shifted his practice to the High Court of Andhra Pradesh, Hyderabad, where he commanded a great volume of work in all the branches of law like constitution, civil, criminal, etc. And he has been an income tax assessee for the period of 5 years. He was also a panel advocate of the Andhra Pradesh High Court Legal Services Committee. Apart from this, he had worked as a chief editor of Andhra Weekly Reporter and also Andhra Law Times for some time, and he also was the honorary editor of Andhra Law Times till recently. He has delivered several lectures relating to the different aspects at Judicial Academy and also at different academic institutions on their invitation. He has contributed several articles on different aspects of law to several law journals like Andhra Weekly Reporter, Supreme Court Journal, Madras Law Journal, etc. He has contributed about 50 books to the legal literature and was elevated as a judge of High Court of Andhra Pradesh on 25th June 2001. With this, I present before you Honorable Justice Dr. P.S. Narayana, and now I request Honorable Justice to kindly take over the session.
The principal, participants. At the outset, I thank the principal and the management of the institution who thought of inviting me to participate in this program. I had been at Delhi, and yesterday only I reached Hyderabad. At present, I am at Hyderabad. Initially, Dr. Mohan Rao made a request to participate in the meeting on the very 1st June itself. But I expressed my inability, stating that I may be in the course of journey from Delhi to Hyderabad. Hence, maybe Dr. Mohan Rao thought of postponing it to this day, that is 2nd June.
Yes, sir, indeed.
I confess before all of you that during my professional career for about 3 decades, and subsequent thereto as a sitting judge for about a decade, and at present for about a decade, being a member of Mahadayi Interstate River Water Disputes Tribunal at Delhi, I have been deriving a lot of pleasure in participating in several of the seminars, conferences, symposiums, interaction, visiting different educational institutions all over the country at their invitation, delivering different lectures. It is needless to say that since I am from judiciary, several judicial institutions and the academies quite often will be inviting me to deliver several lectures. As far as the aspect of legal literature is concerned, it is stated that I had contributed about 50 books. But in fact, my contribution is 120 or 125 or maybe 130. Maybe Dr. Mohan Rao had not verified the list of books. Whatever it is, apart from it, I always derive a pleasure to be in the midst of academicians, in the midst of students, visiting different educational institutions. Initially, I intend to say that always there had been a whisper from different quarters that I am more an academic judge, maybe because of my contribution to the legal literature. It may be so. But always I have been telling that the intimate coordination and understanding between the academic wing of the legal literature and the judicial wing, these are highly essential. While addressing several of the gatherings, somehow or other, I see a clear demarcation between the judicial wing and the academic wing. And at the academic institutions, the participation of the judicial officers or those representing the judiciary, it will be very, very limited. Except at certain of the conferences. Normally, in most of the conferences, I observed that this coordination is lacking. That's why I have been suggesting repeatedly, and I have been telling several of the academicians, several of the top academicians at the national level to look into this aspect and to evolve certain programs by virtue of which better coordination can be brought in between these two wings. This is just a prima facie opinion. Coming to the legal literature, I just commence with my own life and my experience, how I came in touch with this interest of taking up the legal literature, contributing certain of the books. Though I had been an active professional for more than 3 decades, I initially commenced my profession at Tirupati in Chittoor district. After a decade, I shifted to Hyderabad. Having been at the High Court for about 2 decades, I was elevated as a judge. And I was there as a judge for about a decade. And subsequent thereto, I left to Delhi. I have been at Delhi for about a decade. This is the life journey in short or brief. My contribution to the legal literature commenced like this. I was initially associated with MLJ group at Madras, where Professor Venkatraman was in charge of the affairs. Professor Venkatraman was at Andhra University. After laying down the office, he was in charge of the MLJ and associated journals for sufficiently a long time, maybe even up to his last breath at Madras. Since I had very good touch with him, my first contribution was law of res judicata. Prior thereto, continuously I was contributing several articles to MLJ, MLJ Criminal, SCJ, this group of journals. These were being run by the MLJ group at the relevant point of time. Subsequently, no doubt, several subsequent happenings happened. I am not interested in talking about that history because that may not be relevant for our purpose. Professor Venkatraman requested me to come over to Madras so that my first publication, Law of Res Judicata, can be taken up and it may be released at the earliest point of time. I had gone to Madras. The book was accepted for publication. No doubt, Professor Venkatraman suggested certain further modifications to the first book of mine. I had completed all the other formalities also, the suggestions which had been given by Dr. Venkatraman. But to my surprise, what happened? Because of the strike of workers of the press, MLJ press, the publication or the further progress of the publication could not be taken to its logical end. And Professor Venkatraman requested me to take back the material and expressed the difficulty which the management was facing. That's how the book ultimately had fallen into the hands of Yeshala House at Hyderabad. This is how my first publication, Law of Recidicata, was released. The subsequent thereto, several publications of mine, nearly more than 100 books, had been released by different publishers. Yeshala House, Yeshala Publications, Goya Law Agency, Andhra Law Time Publications, Karnataka Law Journal Publications in Bengaluru, MLJ Publications, now Universal Publications at Delhi. At present, recently this Lexis and Nexus, and several other publishers all over the country. I've been contributing articles also continuously to different law journals. Here, with all my experience, I want to make it clear that this bent of mind of mine towards the legal research, it never came in my way to be a legal professional while transacting my work as a lawyer or while transacting my work as a judge as well. This is very important. Many people, they may be of the impression that these are two different aspects. Busy legal professionals cannot undertake the research work at all. They can't do anything. They can't contribute to the legal literature. It's not possible. That opinion is not correct. Even a busy professional, if really he is having interest in the subject, he can as well contribute to the legal literature.
It appears that there is a technical flaw due to which we are unable to hear, sir. Yeah. Sir, may please go ahead. Sir, may please go ahead.
Sir, Honorable Justice, please unmute. Your mic is muted, so please unmute. So you can touch the screen and it will say unmute. I've already requested you to unmute.
Please unmute the mic.
Yes.
Yes.
No,
Yes, sir.
it's all right.
It's all audible. Sir.
Some problem. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Technical problem.
Yes, sir. Sir, may continue, please.
This combination of legal academic excellence and judicial excellence, in my opinion, is a very rare combination. On a careful analysis of the study of law, the legal literature, the contribution to the field of law, the judgments, the research in relation thereto, if carefully analyzed, we see only a few judges throughout the country who had contributed a lot to the legal literature, apart from the judgments which they deliver as part of their duties in transacting judicial work. Here, I may also bring it to the notice of all the participants that this rare combination needs a lot of dedication, devotion, and discipline as well. Unless a person is able to do hard work, put in the constant effort, it is not possible to pull on with all these activities. Why I am telling? The reason is my experience as an author, advocate, and a judge. I know the different types of duties and the responsibilities attached to these while transacting their respective works assigned. Normally, it's my habit to wake up early in the morning by 4 or 4:30. As a professional, I was in the habit of completing my morning walk. After coming back, I was contributing at least 2 hours towards this academic work in the early morning. Subsequent thereto, In my office, my clerk and the other staff, they would be attending, and then I was commencing the office work. This habit of mine to wake up very early in the morning and to concentrate on this academic work for at least 2 or 3 hours in the early morning, it continues even to this day. Now my age is 71 years. This habit of mine to wake up very, very early in the morning and to concentrate on this work, at least a few hours in the early morning hours, it is being continued for the last maybe about 5 decades. This is very important. Unless we are able to totally concentrate with utmost dedication, we may not be able to transact all these works at a time effectively and efficiently. That's what I felt. As far as the legal literature is concerned, I want to state a few things. No doubt, in the legal literature, several academicians have contributed. Equally, certain of the practicing advocates, judges, they also had contributed some of the books. As far as the methods of research is concerned, the techniques which are being adopted, when I closely observe certain of the research institutes, inclusive of the Indian Law Institute and the other institutes which are carrying on with these activities, here also theoretical research orientation is something different from the practical approach. Again, no doubt there is some cleavage of opinion amongst even the researchers, whether a particular research project or a research orientation program and the like, whether they are useful for all the purposes or they are useful only for a limited purpose. That's again a major problem with which the very wing of this legal literature contribution it is suffering from. Apart from this aspect, on the aspect of this legal journalism, I've been quite often telling about the problems which actually this journalism also is facing, apart from the ills with which the other journalism is suffering. Legal journalism is suffering from certain further ills, very peculiar in nature. With my experience, having been associated with several journals, even to this day, I know the peculiar problems with which the legal journalism as such is facing in the country. We always talk of the standard of law journals. We also talk of the Indian law reports, ILR, the Act governing the field, and how several of the institutions, the different high courts, they are facing several problems, and how they are unable to run these journals because of the failure on the part of these institutions. How the private publishers are occupying the field and the private publishers are actually running the law journals. That's one aspect. The next aspect concerned with these law journals is that as far as the editorial excellence is concerned, a person who is closely associated with these law journals or the legal professionals who are more interested in the subject, the judgments to be cited before the courts and all that, they face several difficulties because of what is known as substandard journalism. Several of the journals in the country, if carefully gone through, we may have to necessarily agree that because of want of editorial excellence or editorial standard, the journals are not being run on healthy or sound lines. That's the reason why I have been specifically referring to the law journals and the journalism concerned with the field of law. This is one aspect of the matter as far as the law journals are concerned. Apart from it, the contribution of articles, several of the magazines which are being run by different publishers all over the country, that's another aspect where several of the articles contributed by certain advocates, several academicians, they will be published, their views will be expressed. These are the things with which most probably we are more concerned with and we may have to seriously think of in further improving the standard of journalism concerned with the field of law. Here, I may point out a few aspects which I came across while being a judge for about a decade. Several of the decisions were being cited. And on several occasions, after carefully going through the text of the judgment, I was really surprised that the editorial notes will be totally different from the actual view expressed by the learned judge or the judges, as the case may be. Maybe the single judge, division bench, full bench, or larger bench, whatever it is. This is an important aspect which I have been pointing out at several of the conferences, especially while addressing several of the judicial officers at different academies, judicial academies in particular. This is an important aspect with which most probably the judiciary should be more concerned with. Here itself, I may point out, again here, the classification or the dichotomy between the journals with which the academic institutions are more concerned, the journals with which the judicial institutions are more concerned. These classification quite often we come across. That is the reason why initially itself I said that this coordination between these things it may be highly essential as far as the legal research and the methods, these aspects are concerned. Some people quite often comment that it is very difficult to bring about such coordination, maybe for so many other reasons. But I have suggested several methods. And on different occasions, some attempts also had been sincerely made to bring about such amicable coordination between these things so that better and further progress can be achieved. Again, since several other obstacles are there, such attempts could not be taken to their logical end. But however, from certain wings, certain of the wise thinking people, some eminent jurists, they have been making those attempts even now to bring in such effective and efficient coordination so that we can have better legal research methods or techniques to further improve the field of law in the country. Anything further you want? Anything further you want?
Yes, sir. We'll have question and answer session now.
Any interaction or any questions or any answers you expect?
Yes, sir. Yes. And sir was telling that sir has been devoting 2 hours in the early hours per day, and with the devotion of
2 hours in the morning means that doesn't mean that only 2 hours or 3 hours in the morning. At certain times, continuously for 5 or 6 hours also. For example, during lockdown period, I was continuously at the residence.
Okay.
I was transacting work for 6 hours, 7 hours, even 8 hours.
Yes.
So this 2 hours minimum. Why I pointed out that aspect? The reason is some people think that while being in legal profession it is very difficult. Up to some extent it is true. I was getting claims from 7 o'clock or 7:30. By that time, I was completing my academic work.
Okay.
Then when the clients were coming to the office, I was attending to my legal profession. The profession. But one thing I say, I could not become. In fact, I thought of completing LLM.
Okay.
This PG College, Usmania University people, they requested me, sir, you need not even attend the college. Already you had contributed several books. Whether you attend the college or not, it is immaterial. We will confer LLM or something like that. I said, without attending college, I said, even now, because I was a busy professional, I was unable to move out of the office. Without attending the college, I am not interested in paying some fee and I am not interested in getting that post-graduation. That's how I could not become a postgraduate. Though I had a lot of academic interest.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I always say that LLM or doing post-graduation means regularly we should attend and we should be able to concentrate. Being a legal professional, when clients are disturbing, I can't spare my time, and in spite of that, as far as academic interest is concerned, I continue to have that academic interest, though I was unable to go to the college to get my LLM.
Understandably, whatever point you come across with respect in the profession, whatever point you come across with in the profession, you must have been writing and researching and writing about that, and thereby trying to make it out an article or a book.
Yes, exactly. I'm pointing out here. Several of the senior advocates from different parts of the country, when they meet me, they explain the difference between the contribution of legal literature by an active legal professional like me and by excellent academicians. The approach of the topic by legal professional, it will be slightly different while dealing with the subject when compared to an excellent academician,
a pure academician
contributing the same.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah,
That's how
I totally agree with sir's point.
They have been pointing out on several occasions. They pointed out.
That's correct.
This is how we feel, sir. A person who had been active professional, he knows what is the actual problem. The way in which he deals with the subject, or that will be slightly different when compared to an academician.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Raksha, please go ahead with the question and answer session. Raksha?
Subject but yes.
Yes, am I audible now, sir?
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you, sir, for such an enlightening and knowledgeable words, as well as for sharing with us your experience as to how you could, contribute so much to the field of legal literature in spite of your busy schedule. So now the session is open for the queries. We have some of the questions raised by some of the participants, and I'll be reading those questions one by one for sir to clear it out. So the first question is raised by Professor Binish Kumar, who is a faculty of Kristu Jayanti College of Law. So his question is, among OSCOL and Blue Book format of footnoting, which one is, according to you, is the author friendly?
The Blue Book format.
Sir, this question goes like this. Among the OSCOLA and Blue Book format of footnoting, which one do you think is more author friendly?
Footnoting, sir. Footnoting.
Footnoting.
Yes, sir. Blue book format or
Blue format will be better.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
So moving on to the next question. So
Yes.
next question is raised by Major General P.K. Sharma. So his question is as to what changes you would like to suggest or propose in the legal education to make it more practical and research oriented.
To make it more practical and research oriented, I suggest that as far as these moot courts, this practical training, the classes concerned with it, some more time to be spared. And relating to the practical training, the cases to be dealt with while attending different courses and all that, that should be increased so that at least in the last years before leaving the college, a person should be confident of important. There, because of this lack of practical experience, and especially because of the Supreme Court judgment and of late, several of the senior judges also who are meeting me, they have been expressing these difficulties. Several of the judicial officers without any experience, having some academic knowledge, they are being chosen as judicial officers and they are unable to transact judicial work also. That is the difficulty. That's why the improvement on practical side, it is very, very important. But some of them may come to the legal profession, some may not come, may not opt the legal profession also. That's a different matter altogether. But practical training should be further improved. That's my opinion. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to another question. So this question is raised by Mr. Chetan Ashu. So he wants to know your advice as well as suggestions for the academicians.
For academicians,
Yes, sir.
academicians in the legal field, we have several excellent academicians. I have a lot of regard towards certain of the academicians, and some of the questions which the academicians raise, we may not be knowing. Because you are raising that question, I tell you about an interesting episode which happened at Delhi recently at the Indian Law Institute. That is something concerned with maybe academic excellence as well. There was some casual discussion at a conference. In fact, I was a judge for about a decade at Hyderabad, High Court of Andhra Pradesh, very well. A person who had been a judge for about a decade is expected to know about the High Court, at least the history of the High Court, certain details, whatever it is. There was a question whether any sitting of the Supreme Court was there at Hyderabad. To my knowledge, I could not recollect. I said maybe there was no sitting at all. Then on verification, it was confirmed that there was sitting of Supreme Court on a peculiar situation at Hyderabad as well, apart from Jammu and Kashmir. These were the two instances which had been referred to. I was surprised. That means with all my academic excellence also, I am not having that knowledge. The excellent academician, with all his research, he was able to point out. That is important. Yes?
Yes, thank you, sir. So moving on to the next question, which is raised by Professor Karthik Anand. So his
Yes.
question is, Bar Council is imposing the rule that teachers engaged in full-time law teaching cannot do practice. But at the time of teaching, practical experience counts more. What is your opinion with regard to that? Is there any need of change in this rule of conduct, more practical-oriented teaching in law schools?
These full-time teachers, part-time teachers, this legal profession, these are all aspects more concerned with the service. If you are a full-time academician, I don't think that you will be able to go to public court and concentrate also. There are practical difficulties. But if practical difficulties are not there, just like part-time lecturers, if a person is capable of transacting, I think even full-time teachers can be permitted to carry on the profession. That's my opinion. No problem. Such rules can be formulated. There is no inconvenience at all. A person having knowledge, if he is able to spare time, suppose he has to teach for only 2 hours or 3 hours. The rest of the time, suppose he is able to spare, he can as well spare. Because you are referring to this, I will point out, since certain incidents which happened in my life, I remember, while I was an active professional, legal professional, Justice M.N. Rao, who was in charge of the Judicial Academy, he was very particular that I should take up certain classes. I was a busy professional. At certain times, I have to move lunch motions. The matters will be called at 2:50. These difficulties. In fact, I was facing it all. On several occasions, they were requesting to take up these classes to judicial officers at 2 o'clock, 2:15, or 3 o'clock, or certain timings, which were not suitable. I was unable to spare my time also. In spite of that, there was pressure. Since I could not say no, I was accommodating the Judicial Academy as well. I was going. Maybe some other advocate, he was requesting for a passover. I was coming back. I was moving the matter at 4 o'clock or 4:15, just when the judge was getting down. I tell you, the judges also were accommodating, because mentions were made before the judges that he was a Judicial Academy. Maybe that duty also is part and parcel of the duties concerned with the institution as well. That's how they have been accommodating. Such things are possible. In such cases, I think the academicians, they can be professionals as well, if they are capable of transacting all the duties. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, sir, for clarifying the doubts of the students. So before proceeding further, let us now witness a small video clipping of our
Okay.
college.
Before that, I have a small query, Justice.
Why? Why small query? There can be several big queries also. I have absolutely no objection.
Kindly throw light on representative petition and the public interest litigation. This representative petitions under Order 1, Rule 8 and the public interest litigation. In other words, how best can the lower courts be made amenable to public interest lawyering?
See, it is a very vast topic, Dr. Mohan Rao. R1 Rule 8, representative suits. The scope and ambit of representative suits, that is very limited in scope under the Code of Civil Procedure. Though the element of public interest is involved in such types of litigations as well. In spite of that, the general public interest litigation, PIL, the horizon and ambit of the public interest litigation, it is very broad when compared to Order 1 Rule 8 CPC scope. No doubt, to some extent, at certain times they may overlap also.
Yes.
The subordinate courts also, not only subordinate courts, civil courts, even subordinate criminal courts, if they exercise their powers, they invoke the jurisdiction appropriately, they can do wonders. Many of the people, they are not having the requisite knowledge about their own powers. In the research-oriented programs, several of the aspects have been enlightened and they were brought to my notice at the Indian Law Institute in particular. After laying down the office as a judge, I came to know about several of the powers conferred under the CRPC on subordinate judicial officers, especially on criminal side, where they can do wonders to help the public.
Okay.
That is something concerned with knowledge again. Certain of the judicial officers had exercised such powers. I was surprised. That is something. There are several brilliant officers even in subordinate judiciary. Yes.
So,
Okay.
that means to say that that brilliant officers shall be in a position to usurp the power and exercise that and help the people by and large.
This is something concerned with the judicial activism again.
Yes,
see, the problem is you are putting a question which is more concerned with the concept of judicial activism.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No doubt, there are certain judicial officers who are really wise and they are exercising their powers within the limits permissible by law. In spite of that, somehow or other, in the hierarchy of the system, the other institutions are not endorsing such views. That is the reason why, under the guise of the concept of judicial activism, so much of criticism will be there. That is why several of the judicial officers, they are not exercising their powers, though they know that they are having such powers.
Okay, okay.
That is exactly what is going on.
Very great, sir.
Yes.
Very grateful, sir. We are very grateful to you, to Honorable Sir, for sparing your valuable time and acceding to our request and
No.
deliberating.
No. You see, Dr. Mohan Rao.
Yes, sir.
I was not very particular of this, but all
There is some technical problem due to which kindly bear with us, and we'll go ahead with the. There is some technical problem due to which I think the audibility is lost with the Honorable Justice. And now we'll go ahead with the display of the video. In the meanwhile, sir may join.
I now request Reverend Father Emmanuel PJ, Director, Kristu Jayanti College of Law, to propose the vote of thanks.
I'm just waiting for the Honorable Justice to join back.
Okay, Father.
Seems like he has some technical issues, so please wait. In between, I request you.
Kristu Jayanti College, managed by the Carmelites of Mary Immaculate Congregation, began in the year 1999. It is an incarnation of the educational dreams of Saint Kuryakos Elias Chavra, the founder of the CMI congregation, an educationist and social reformer who envisioned the sunrise of a renewed humanity through holistic education. The college is affiliated to Bengaluru North University, and its educational legacy has carved a niche in the society. It nurtures holistic growth of the students, physically, emotionally, and intellectually, and creates empathetic, futuristic leaders.
Kristu Jayanti College, Bengaluru has completed 2 decades of its educational services with quality and excellence. The college has become one of the most sought higher education institutions in India. This great achievement has been possible due to the unified blend of the vision of the management, the commitment and dedication of teachers and administrative staff, dynamism of the students, encouragement of parents, alumni, community, and the support of the university, government, and all other stakeholders.
From a humble beginning of 9 students, the college has grown exponentially to 7,000 students. Kristu Jayanti College provides a conducive environment that nurtures the potential of every student who steps into the portals of the campus. The college has 14 academic departments under arts, commerce and science streams, offering more than 40 undergraduate and postgraduate programs. The academic culture of the college greatly nurtures the inquisitive minds of the students by enhancing their knowledge through experiential learning. This method of learning aims at teaching students leadership skills and inculcating positive qualities which would help them blossom in the future. The Internal Quality Assurance Cell spearheads quality assurance and sustenance in all academic processes. The dynamic infrastructure meets the needs of the students and provides a conducive ambience for students to learn effectively.
Kristu Jayanti College strives to provide educational opportunities to all aspiring youth, irrespective of region, religion, or culture, to excel in life by nurturing academic excellence, fostering values, creating civic responsibilities in a dynamic environment. We have student community from all over the state and from many foreign countries.
Holistic development of a student is the coalescence of curricular and extracurricular activities. The Literary and Cultural Association of the college provides various opportunities for students to realize their inner talents and showcase a kaleidoscopic spectrum of their artistic might.
A community of students who are diverse in culture and talent are in Kristu Jayanti College. The activities of the extracurricular and co-curricular clubs and associations are built around the concept of encouraging every Jayantian to express his or her talent. A vast range of extracurricular activities are organized by the Literary and Cultural Association to identify the talent of students, to train and nourish their talents through various training programs, and to showcase these talents in various platforms.
While being a student in Kristu Jayanti College, I saw this college from the surface. Upon being given the position of an LCS secretary, I was able to see the grand scheme of things that aided the smooth working of the college and the hidden potential and talents of our students.
Like how little drops of water form the mighty ocean, every activity in our college, irrespective of its size and perceived importance, contributes to the growth of our college, as always following the motto, light and prosperity.
The Center for International Affairs in Kristu Jayanti College has established international collaboration with various universities across the world. Interaction with global and Indian visionaries, leaders and change makers creates new vistas of intuition for young minds. The Center for Employability and Corporate Relations molds students to be industry ready and provides training programs and career counseling to enable the students to qualify for final placements. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and this step is taken by dedicated faculty members and students who strive relentlessly to catapult the college to greater glory.
I would now request Reverend Father Emmanuel PJ, Director, Kristu Jayanti College of Law, to propose the vote of thanks.
Respected and Honorable Justice Dr. P.S. Narayana, Reverend Father Joskuti Piri, the Principal of Kristu Jayanti College, Reverend Dr. Augustine George, Vice Principal, Dr. Mohan Arbala, the Principal of Kristu Jayanti College of Law, all the honorable delegates and faculty members and participants of this 7-day FTP Nyayacharya Deepika. It gives me a lot of happiness and I feel accomplished to complete this 7-day Nyayacharya Deepika, the faculty development program by the Kristu Jayanti College of Law on the theme methods and techniques of pedagogy and legal research to reach a culmination on this 7th day with the presence of Honorable Justice Dr. P.S. Narayana. As we conclude this session, as we just listened and watched in the video, I would say we all should feel like there are miles and miles to go before I sleep, should be a slogan. So this is a first step of the 1,000 miles we are going to begin. While I was a student sometime back in the West, the university in New York introduced online classes, and I should admit that I was not that happy to stay home and do the online classes, though I was in the city. And we told the authorities of the New York Fordham University that, okay, we should go for more classroom sessions rather than online sessions. That was really some 12 years ago. Back then, online classes was not understood as the best of the options. But then now times have changed. You know, if I ask my little niece who is going to go to the first standard, how is the classes going? She will say, yeah, we have online classes. So the COVID-19 pandemic has changed the whole of the concepts of the learning. Though most of us have smartphones and devices, we never probably used, though many of them are misused. You know, we haven't used wisely the advantages of the technology until we are in quarantine, until we are in lockdown. So now the world has really become a useful global village. We have come together and we know our abilities and disabilities, and we are able to do the things in the right manner with the technology. And it is in this context, as we all know, that we have gathered all of you luminaries to come together and to visit our campus virtually. And I know it may be a little too much to ask from you to sit and watch our campus, but then I thought, you know, since you are not able to come to our campus physically, you know, it should be our responsibility to at least virtually to show you how we are. And so thank you once again. First of all, I wanted to thank you all for your patience with all the technological issues that we had during these days, but also for patiently just being with us virtually with our campus and with our facilities as well. So with that introductory note, I wanted to briefly thank all the resource persons, all the honorable resource persons who have come with us, journeyed with us during these last 7 days, beginning with Professor T.S.N. Shastri, the Vice Chancellor of Tamil Nadu Dr. Ambedkar Law University, Chennai, and Professor Ajay Kumar, Professor and Control of Examination of Chanakya National Law University, Patna. Professor Y.F. Jayakumar, the former principal of College of Law from the Osmania University, Hyderabad. Sri P.V. Surendranath, the senior advocate from the Supreme Court of India, New Delhi, and Honorable Justice Ram Mohan Reddy, former judge of High Court of Karnataka. Professor Dr. Anam Subramaniam, Dean of School of Law, Beltec University, Chennai, and today very profoundly honored, respected Justice Dr. P.S. Narayana, who has authored, as we heard, more than 50 books. And what else we need to have a collaboration of academic knowledge as well as the practical law enforcement and decision making in the judicial system as well. So today, as we conclude this, Nyayacharya Deepika, more than 130 books. So at this point, I wanted to thank Honorable Justice Dr. P.S. Narayana, former judge, High Court of Andhra Pradesh, for engaging us and illuminating us with the topic of legal literature and research. I, especially in the name of all the management team, all the fathers and the deans and especially for Professor Dr. Mohan, who is the vital force in collaborating with the around and so on this note, I once again thank Honorable Justice P.S. Narayana for your wonderful presence, your illuminating presence, and we look forward to meeting you